Hello.
Hi, Alina.
All right. So thank you so much for doing this. And we communicated a little bit about what it was that you wanted to work on. So let me hear it in your words. What is the challenge for you?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge for me is really getting myself derailed from my goals. And in the past, that I've allowed that to happen with relationships.
Okay.
And now I feel like having that awareness, I have kind of like this now, like no more relationships. I keep getting off track of my own ambitions and my own interest in life. So, but I'm still finding patterns. So, if it's not relationships now, and I'm not really able to kind of put my finger on what it is really going on underneath it to really address it.
Okay, so if it's not happening with a relationship, what area is it happening? Because what you wrote me was something about business and business goals.
Yeah, where it really is showing up is procrastination, or in the name of too many ideas, and just coming up with these new projects and never actually fully implementing any one thing.
Okay. So is there any one thing that you know would help you in your business if you were to implement it?
You mean like a product or a service, or I'm not sure what you mean.
So you said that you have too many things going on, and if you were to implement, maybe if you were to implement some of these, then it could move you forward in your business. So is that what I'm hearing? And that there's too much procrastination going on. And I want you to select one that feels like it's exciting and would generate revenue, which is, I think, one of the goals that you wrote, that you want to be money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So pick one of those ideas that you know or you suspect would generate some income if you were to implement them.
Okay, so one project that I have going now that I've procrastinated terribly on, so now I'm in a state of emergency, is a retreat that I'm hosting in October.
Okay.
So it is in progress. I am working on it, but there's still a lot that I need to do and be focused on to stay zoned in.
Okay. And so you said you're working on it, but do you find yourself not focusing on it as much as you need to be?
Well, now that I'm in the state of emergency, I am working on it every day, which means other stuff isn't getting done too. So,
Okay.
so I am working on it.
Okay. Tell me about the retreat and the things that you're doing now to get ready for that.
All right. Well, I just hired someone, my second someone, for the actual retreat sales page. So that should be done this week, hopefully. One thing I haven't done for it yet that I've been working on for a couple of days is the actual intro video that has to go at the top of the sales page, and all of the legal documents and, CYA stuff. And also framing out each, while I have, an overview and know what the outcomes are going to be based on, the focus of the retreat, I don't have every day planned with exactly what I'm doing yet.
Okay.
So the training isn't exactly shaped out.
Okay. And so thinking about all of those pieces that are coming together in one way or another right now, because it's at that point where you have to, and it's emergency. Is there anything that you notice that you're really avoiding or not working on as much as you should?
The first thing that came up was the marketing piece, but it
Okay.
seemed really broad.
So tell me, what is it about the marketing piece? What should you be doing to market this?
I should be investing money in places where I can attract my clients.
And investing money where?
Facebook ads. There's it's a national publication that is local, like Natural Awakenings. It's a magazine, where my ideal client is. I'm doing things like webinars and more Facebook Lives and that kind of stuff. Writing actual Facebook posts.
All right. So the marketing plan for this program and the retreat is a combination of Facebook ads, some ad in the public in Natural Awakenings, the publication, doing some webinars and Facebook posts and Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I were to tell you to come up with a plan that would have you doing a certain number of these every week and leading up to October, how does that feel?
Indifferent. Okay.
Okay. So, so I want you to come up with a marketing plan. I'm going to have this ad running from here to here. I'm going to have the ad placed in Natural Awakenings by such and such a date. I'm going to do 3 webinars before October. I'm going to do how many Facebook Lives and twice a week of Facebook posts. It's up to you how you do that. But how does that feel to create that kind of a plan?
Okay. So I'm laughing because as you're saying that, I'm going, yeah, here's that fear. This is what pops up every single time.
Great. So let's.
And that is every freaking time I have invested time and money, and I've spent literally thousands on Facebook ads to get nothing. And so while one piece of me is like totally committed to this retreat, and I am investing in, this stuff to make it happen on the front end. I'm like, I have this fear about, I just don't want to spend any more money on this shit that is not going to produce any results, because if I'm going to do the same thing I did in the past, why would it show up any differently?
Okay. And so thinking about, you're going to spend all this money, do you have a budget?
I do have a budget.
Okay. So thinking about your budget and what you're going to be spending just only on your Facebook ads, and you don't have to tell me the amount, but you know the amount. How does that feel?
It feels like not enough.
Okay. And thinking that isn't enough, what is the emotion behind that?
Frustration.
Okay. 0 to 10 on the frustration.
And I'm going to add disappointment to that. I would say a 9 on the frustration.
Okay. And so frustration is higher than disappointment?
I would say they're the same.
Okay. We'll pick frustration for now.
Okay.
And thinking about the budget that you have for the Facebook ads, frustration 9, do you feel that anywhere in your body?
Yeah, I feel it in my stomach.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start tapping, and I know that you're familiar with it, but we're going to demonstrate how to do the long version before we switch to the shortcut. Okay, and if I ask you to repeat anything that doesn't sound right, you want to say it in a different way, something else shows up, by all means, feel free to interrupt me, correct me, jump in, because I really want to use your words as much as I can. That's the power of doing EFT, is for me to use your words.
Okay.
Okay, so even though I feel all of this frustration in my stomach,
even though I feel all of this frustration in my stomach,
just thinking about my Facebook ad budget,
just thinking about my Facebook ad budget,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all this frustration
Even though I feel all this frustration
in my stomach,
thinking
about the budget that I have for the Facebook ads,
thinking about the budget I have for the Facebook ads,
for the retreat,
not enough.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all of this frustration in my stomach,
Even though I feel all of this frustration in my stomach,
just thinking about the budget that I have for the Facebook ads,
just thinking about the budget that I have for the Facebook ads,
for that retreat,
for the retreat,
frustrated that it's not enough, I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. All this frustration in my stomach.
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 You're going to tap at the back of the hand at the gamut point. And I want you to keep your head steady and close your eyes. Open your eyes. Look hard down left. Look hard down right. Circle your eyes as if you're looking at a clock, a large clock in front of you, looking at all the numbers one way, and then circle around the other way. Good, and then come to center, and I want you to hum a few bars of happy birthday. Count to 5 quickly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hum again. Good. All this frustration in my stomach.
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 Okay. Now, thinking about the budget and the number that you have for doing a Facebook ad for the retreat, what are you feeling? Frustrated? 0 to 10.
You too.
Okay. And is it still frustration?
It's doubt.
It's doubt? And so tell me about the doubt. What does that mean?
So while I don't really feel this great sense of frustration, I'm now like, moved to doubt, yeah, it's still probably not going to work.
Okay. So I'm going to put that in the parking lot. The number is low enough that I can just switch gears a minute and start asking you some other questions. This has happened before. Okay. Do you remember the last time that happened?
Well, yes, but I can't remember what the specific thing that I was promoting.
Okay. So you had an ad running and you know approximately how much you spent for it?
Oh, and it's not like a ad. I've done this many times over. So, okay, so one specific event is coming to mind of when I spent hundreds of dollars, for sure. Yeah.
All right. So you spent hundreds of dollars on this Facebook ad or series of ads for an event, and the results were?
Nothing.
No one signed up?
Very few. Like for the amount, I'd actually hired a Facebook ads consultant who guided me through the whole process. And so I think there was a lot of disappointment and frustration around it because I had invested in paying a consultant to coach me, and then I invested the money on the ads and it was still a flop. So yeah, a few people signed up, and we were doing I think we were doing like ads for a webinar. So.
Okay. And so thinking about the money that you spent on the consultant to get you through this, and it was still a flop, what are you feeling?
Irritated.
0 to 10.
About a 6.
Do you feel that anywhere in your body?
Right in my shoulder.
Okay. All right, we're going to switch to the shortcuts because it's a lot faster.
Okay.
So even though I feel irritated.
Even though I feel irritated.
And I feel it in my shoulder.
I feel it in my shoulder.
Just thinking that it was a flop.
Just thinking that it was a flop.
Even after I hired a consultant.
Even after I hired a consultant.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm thinking at the money that I spent for the consultant.
Even though I'm thinking that the money I spent for the consultant.
And it was still a flop.
And it was still a flop.
And I feel irritated in my shoulder.
I feel irritated in my shoulder.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook ad consultant.
Even though I'm thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook ads consultant.
And it was still a flop.
And it was still a flop.
And I feel irritated in my shoulder.
I feel irritated in my shoulder.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling irritated in my shoulder.
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 Okay. Thinking about the money that you spent on the consultant and it was still a flop. Irritated 0 to 10.
Maybe a 2.
Is it still irritated or some other emotion?
Yeah, it's still irritated. Nothing else came up.
Okay. Is it still in your shoulder?
No, I don't feel it.
Okay. Even though I feel irritated.
Even though I feel irritated.
Just thinking about the money I spent on the consultant.
Just thinking about the money I spent on the consultant.
And it was still a flop.
It was still a flop.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I'm thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook ad consultant.
Even though I'm thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook ads consultant.
And it was still a flop.
And it was still a flop.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I still feel irritated.
Even though I still feel irritated.
Just thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook consultant.
Just thinking about the money I spent on that Facebook ads consultant.
And the event was still a flop.
And the event was still a flop.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling this remaining irritation.
Say it again, Alina.
This remaining irritation.
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 All right, thinking about that now. The money that you spent on that consultant, and it was still a flop.
Yeah, what came up as we were going through that was that the remaining irritation was really irritation with myself, not with her or that situation.
So tell me why irritation with yourself? What does that mean?
I don't know. I was trying to figure out, like, well, was it because I didn't do some part of the program? Was it I didn't, follow the protocol? Was it, what was it that I didn't do that I should be irritated with myself? Was it that, I believed one more person had the magic bullet that was going to, produce the income and move me forward in my business that didn't,
Okay, so let's just tap and see what comes up about it if you can get more clarity. So even though I'm irritated with myself and I don't know why I am.
Even though I'm irritated with myself and I don't know why I am.
Was it that I didn't do the course right?
Was it that I didn't do the course right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel irritation with myself.
Even though I feel irritation with myself.
And I don't know why.
And I don't know why.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel irritation with myself.
Even though I feel irritation with myself.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling irritation with myself.
Feeling irritation with myself.
Feeling irritation with myself.
Feeling irritation with myself.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
But I'm feeling irritated with myself.
But I'm feeling irritated with myself.
Was it because I didn't do the course properly?
Was it because I didn't do the course properly?
Or something else?
Or something else?
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
What came up?
Nothing different.
Okay. So guess at why you would be irritated with yourself over this.
The only thing that seems to come up is that I keep spending money on things that don't work out.
Okay. And so when you think about that, I seem to spend money on things that don't work out. Is there anything that you remember that you spent money on that did not work out in a big way? Okay, I want you to tap. And just tap on the points. Keep tapping. I'm right here with you. Just keep tapping. Doing?
So at first it was funny, and then it just like triggered all of this emotion, because as I was saying to you, I don't even remember how I said it. I know you wrote it down, but like I spend money on all these things that don't work out. It totally triggered like, yeah, and that shit shows up like everywhere in your life. Like it's always stuff that doesn't work out. It's every relationship, you know? And that's what I was like, oh my God, it's like every business venture, and so that's like the big thing.
Okay, that it doesn't work out in
That
all
it doesn't.
life.
Right.
Okay. And if you were to guess why this keeps happening to you, what would you say it's about? What do you think it's about?
I don't know. I feel like if I knew the answer to that, I would have fixed it already.
Yeah. You know, so with when we're talking about wanting to change something and it just keeps happening over and over and over and over again, we talk about secondary gain. We talk about that there is some hidden payoff to doing that. There's some different categories. So we're looking at deserving. We're looking at fear of change. We're looking at safety and security. We're looking at identity. And so as I rattle off those different categories, does anything sound like it could be part of it?
I mean, I've looked at some of those things on some of this stuff. I mean, I've not made the connection like we just did. And, you know, as far as secondary gains, I don't know what that would be. Like, so I got no one to fall back on to, like, you know, to pick up the pieces or fix it or.
So let's I want you to say, I deserve for this to work out.
I deserve for this to work out.
And make me lots of money.
And make me lots of money.
Are you 100% congruent with that?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to say, it's safe for me.
It's safe for me.
To do this.
To do this.
To have it come to fruition.
To have it come to fruition.
And for me to be very successful.
And for me to be very successful.
Do you feel 100% congruent with that statement?
Apparently not.
Okay, so.
You're very triggered by that.
Okay.
So my logical mind is like, yes, of course. Why else would I be putting all this effort in, right? But no, it definitely triggered me.
Okay, so let me hear you repeat back to me what you thought I heard. What you thought you heard me say. I want to hear it in your words.
I don't remember it exactly the way you said it.
Okay. But it has something to do with safety?
Yeah, that it's safe for me to be successful.
Okay, so let's tap on this and see what else floats up about it.
Okay.
All right. Even though there might be some part of me.
Even though there might be some part of me.
That doesn't feel safe.
That doesn't feel safe.
Having this come to fruition.
Having this come to fruition.
And being successful.
And being successful.
And I'm willing to take a look at this.
And I'm willing to take a look at this.
Even though there's a part of me.
Even though there's a part of me.
That might not feel safe.
That might not feel safe.
And I'm not sure what that's about.
And I'm not sure what that's about.
But I'm willing to find out.
But I'm willing to find out.
Even though there might be some part of me.
Even though there might be some part of me.
That I really don't understand.
That I really don't understand.
That doesn't feel safe.
That doesn't feel safe.
With this being a big success.
With this being a big success.
And I don't know what it's about.
And I don't know what it's about.
But I'm willing to find out.
But I'm willing to find out.
I don't know what this is about.
I don't know what this is about.
But it just doesn't feel safe.
But it just doesn't feel safe.
It doesn't feel safe.
It doesn't feel safe.
And I don't know why.
And I don't know why.
I don't know why it doesn't feel safe.
I don't know why it doesn't feel safe.
There's a part of me that doesn't feel safe.
There's a part of me that doesn't feel safe.
I got triggered by this.
I got triggered by this.
And I don't know why.
And I don't know why.
Okay, any more insight?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I want you to imagine that you actually do this retreat. You are very successful. It goes off really well. You make a lot of money at it. How does that feel to you?
Very exciting.
Okay, so I want you to imagine that you are this successful and your friends and your family and the people in your community and your colleagues and everyone sees how successful you're being. Is there anything about that that's sticky?
Yeah, that feels triggering.
Okay, so who would it be? Friends or family, colleague, who would it be? You don't have to say their name or who they are in relation to you. You can just say, yes, I've identified a person.
I feel like it's family in general.
Okay, so if there was one member of your family that would be most likely to either say or do something or feel something about you being very successful, identify that one person.
Okay.
Okay, would they do something or say something directly to you or to somebody else or their feelings? Like, tell me what they're likely to do.
Oh yeah, it's passive aggressive stuff. So they would just talk behind my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're thinking about this one person.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to, so imagine your next family event after the retreat. You're with your family and you know this one person is talking behind your back.
Well, there might be family events, but I wouldn't be there. So there aren't any like family gatherings. This is like all through the grapevine kind of stuff.
Okay, so you would imagine that this person would be talking to another member of your family about you behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
And imagining that scenario, what are you feeling? What's the emotion that comes up for you thinking about that?
Shame is what came up.
Okay. And do you feel that shame anywhere in your body?
Yeah, the same place in my stomach
Okay.
as when we were doing the frustration.
Okay. And the shame, 0 to 10?
Maybe 6.
Okay. So even though I feel the shame in my stomach,
Even though I feel this shame in my stomach,
just imagining that I'm successful
imagining that I'm successful
and this person in my family
and this person in my family
is talking behind my back,
is talking behind my back,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the shame in my stomach,
Even though I feel the shame in my stomach,
just imagining this family member
just imagining this family member
talking about me behind my back
talking about me behind my back
because I've become successful,
because I've become successful,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel the shame in my stomach,
Even though I feel this shame in my stomach,
just imagining this person in my family
just imagining this person in my family
talking behind my back
talking behind my back
about me
about me
because I've been successful,
because I've been successful,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Good. Tap on the points. The shame in my stomach.
The shame in my stomach.
The shame in my stomach.
This 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 shame in my stomach.
Okay, something else is coming up? All right, I'm right here with you. Just tap. And just keep tapping on the points. And pay attention to your breathing. Feel the tapping on your face and upper body. Remembering what you had for breakfast. How are you doing?
Good.
Okay. So, what came up?
So what came up was this same family member when, oh my God.
Okay, just tap. Did they do something or say something?
They said something.
Okay, so let's just take the edge off before we go directly. So even though this family member said something,
So even though this family member said something,
right here, right now, I'm okay.
right here, right now, I'm okay.
Even though this family member said something,
Even though this family member said something,
right here, right now, I'm okay.
right here, right now, I'm okay.
Even though I remember this family member saying something,
Even though I remember this family member saying something,
right here and right now,
right here and right now,
I'm safe.
I am safe.
Good. Just remembering that this family member said something.
Just remembering that this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something,
This family member said something.
this family member said something.
Okay. Feeling a little better?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So when I got pregnant with my first son, they, this person thought that I was not capable of raising my son, and someone else in another side of the family couldn't have children, and they thought it would just make sense for me to give them my child after I gave birth to him. Well, clearly that didn't happen, but
How did you find out?
they asked me, yes, like, are you keeping it because so and so wants a baby?
So let's just focus on that before we go on. The fact that this family member said, "Are you keeping it because so and so could have that baby?" Thinking about that statement, what are you feeling right now? What's the emotion?
I mean, to me now, it's laughable. I mean, at the time, I was hurt and insulted.
And really focusing in right now, looking back on the fact that they said this to you, is it zero? Are you feeling any emotion at all about it?
I still get a little irritated thinking about it.
0 to 10 on irritated.
Maybe a 4.
Do you feel that anywhere?
No, I don't.
All right. So even though I feel irritated, that person asked me if I was going to keep my baby.
That person asked me if I was going to keep my baby.
Because I should give it to someone else.
Because I should give it to someone else.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel irritated.
Even though I feel irritated.
Because they asked me if I was planning on keeping my baby.
Because they asked me if I planned on keeping my baby.
Because I should give it to someone else in the family.
Because I should give it to someone else in the family.
Apparently, they didn't think I was capable.
Apparently, they didn't think I was capable.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel irritated.
Even though I feel irritated.
They asked, are you keeping your baby?
They ask, are you keeping your baby?
I thought I should give it to somebody else.
They thought I should give it to someone else.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
They asked if I was going to keep my baby.
They asked if I was going to keep my baby.
They didn't think I was capable.
They didn't think I was capable.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
They asked if I was going to keep my baby.
They asked if I was going to keep my baby.
Feeling irritated.
Feeling irritated.
Okay, thinking about that event now, how are you feeling?
I feel better.
0 to 10 on irritated?
Yeah, I don't really feel irritated.
Okay. So there was more that happened around that? Something else happened?
So what triggered me, and still is triggering me, is my second son. So we had a replay of the first one. So my second son was born with a disability. And they had an opinion about that too. And the opinion was that, well, I should have aborted him. And that I should not have invested 3 years of my life trying to keep him alive, that I should have just let him die.
Okay, all right. So let's just tap. I'm right here with you. Just keep tapping. Just keep tapping. I'm right here with you. Keep tapping. Pay attention to the tapping on your face and upper body. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the backs of your legs against the pressure of the chair that you're sitting in. Remember that it's August. Remember the approximate time of day. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay. So thinking about that they said that to you, did they confront you and say that to your face? No, of course not. They said it behind your back. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So you found out from this other person?
I found out from a family friend. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So finding out from your family friend that this was what was said, that you should have aborted your child. Thinking about that, what are you feeling right now? What's the emotion?
There's just a lot of hurt around it, and hurt and really hate, that I think it just, while that was very painful, part of me was just like dismissing the source, like, okay, we did this already, this is round 2,
Yes.
But it was kind of adding salt to the wound, since there was obviously the first scenario.
Okay. And so hurt, 0 to 10.
I'll say 9.
Okay. Even though I feel hurt.
Even though I feel hurt.
Hearing from the family friend.
Hearing from the family friend.
That this person said I should have aborted him.
That this person said I should have aborted him.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel hurt.
Even though I feel hurt, and betrayal was the other thing that just came up.
Yeah. Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
Hearing that they said I should have aborted him.
Hearing that they said I should have aborted him.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
Hearing that I should have aborted him.
Hearing that I should have aborted him.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
All this hurt and betrayal.
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 All of 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 this hurt and betrayal.
All this hurt and betrayal.
All of this hurt and betrayal.
All this hurt and betrayal.
All of 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 this hurt and betrayal.
All right, hearing from your family member, your friend of the family, telling you that this other person said, you know, she should have aborted him. Hurt and betrayal, 0 to 10.
It's definitely gone down. I would say a 5 or a 6, even on both of them. Maybe a 6 on betrayal, 5 on hurt.
Okay. Do you feel it anywhere in your body?
Kind of in my solar plexus.
Okay. Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal in my solar plexus.
Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal in my solar plexus.
Hearing from my family friend.
Hearing from my family friend.
That person said I should have aborted my son.
That person said I should have aborted my son.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
And I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
Even though I feel this hurt and betrayal.
Hearing from my family friend.
Hearing from my family friend.
That this person said I should have aborted him.
That this person said I should have aborted him.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Even though I feel all this hurt and betrayal.
Even though I feel all this hurt and betrayal.
In my solar plexus.
In my solar plexus.
That person said I should have aborted my son.
That person said I should have aborted my son.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
This hurt and betrayal in my solar plexus.
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 This hurt and betrayal now, 0 to 10.
Yeah, it's less. I don't feel it.
You don't feel it at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'm just going to have you listen in on that conversation. Your family friend tells you, so-and-so said you should have aborted your son. 0?
Yeah, I would say 0.
Okay. Is there more history with this person in your family?
Yeah, the interesting thing that did come up as we were doing is what showed up was because she had an opinion about my mother not being able to raise children the way she should or she did. And so I feel like this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with her history with my mom, that if my mom wasn't capable of raising children, how would I possibly be?
Great. All right, that's good. Good.
Yeah.
All right, so now I want you to say, it feels safe.
It feels safe.
For me to be successful.
For me to be successful.
For my family to find out that I'm successful.
And for my family to find out that I'm successful.
It feels safe.
It feels safe.
Are you feeling that that's true?
I still feel triggered, but not as much.
Okay. So you think it's still about this one person or someone else in your family?
I don't know.
Okay. So I would start with that family member and the things that you've heard, even from your mother, going, back to things that you've heard about that dynamic is where I would take it and tap on those events. Let's check on how we're doing with where we started.
Okay.
I want you to think about putting a schedule in place or a marketing plan. I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing between now and October. Tell me how that feels.
Yeah, I feel certain about that.
Okay.
Because I'm willing to do the work. It's not an effort issue.
Okay.
But when I start doubting, even unconsciously, then I start procrastinating, or I have another great idea I'm going to start working on. So that's kind of been my MO up to this point.
Okay. So thinking about the ad that you're going to place, the Facebook ad, you have a budget for that, and you're going to spend a certain amount. It's part of your overall marketing plan. How does it feel to spend that money?
It feels like, all right, if that's what your budget is, you're going to spend that. If it doesn't work, you're going to do something different.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
And thinking about the money that you spent the last time on the event and the Facebook ad consultant, and it didn't get you anywhere. Are you feeling anything about that?
Just more of, don't do that again.
That's a good lesson. Okay. So I want you to add a little accountability piece for
Okay.
yourself. Tell me when you're going to have that schedule made out for yourself.
Today is Tuesday, so I will have that done and pieces of that put together, because some of it's already kind of pieced together, by Friday.
Okay, so Friday. So you're going to send me an email saying that you did it, that you completed it, that you have your schedule in place.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel okay?
Yeah, it feels great. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. All right, and so remember that procrastination, at the bottom of procrastination is always fear, and and you got to flesh out why that is. But I think we certainly got to pieces of it here.
Yeah, thank you. This has been
All right.
fun. Very helpful. Thanks, Alina.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.